turn facing me a little bit. Oh yeah, you look good. It looks good.
Looks good. Dope.
Camera's on.
Yeah.
You want to have a Google screen? I'd put like a logo here or something.
I was gonna say we should probably research something. We can like pull some shit out. Like we can use the computer, to like look things up if we wanted to.
Yeah. 100%.
Like I could like while you're explaining something, I could look something up. Like we do have a computer, we can't use it.
I agree.
You also have your phone as a computer too.
So
What the research things I think would help us during our podcast.
about to go live.
What up? You be in here? Grab a seat.
You have to open one of those doors. Grab a seat.
Grab a chair, right? There's a chair, right? Is there a chair in there? Alright, grab Vila's chair.
About to go live. Oh, that shit has me high already.
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I finished my onboarding.
Finish the onboarding?
Yeah.
Dope.
So you got my clickable email. So with the podcast, this is going to be like a visual and actual recording, or it's just going to be a recording?
That's a great thing. Let's start the podcast and let's answer that question.
Okay.
Let me ask. I'm gonna ask my Instagram. What should I name this podcast? No, in fact, I'm not. I'm just gonna post it. Anyway, you ready? Oh,
Are we rolling?
yeah. It's rolling right now, bro.
Yeah, sure.
On my phone too?
On your phone
Yeah.
too. It's rolling as we
Alright,
speak.
So I guess we're gonna start the podcast on here. That's crazy.
Starting.
Yeah, I think we're live.
All right. What's good, everybody? Is your boy Kevin Louidor, and
Your boy Mike Sierra.
today we are filming our third episode of the We Don't Know the Name Yet podcast. But that is okay because progress, not perfection. We could sit here and debate for days. Hey, bro, we don't have a name. We can't get started. But
That's true.
we just, we're just getting started, and that's all that matters. Just get started.
Maybe we make that the name of the podcast.
Just get started.
Nah, progress, not perfection.
Progress, not. I'm not really feeling it too much. Progress, not perfection. I don't know.
That could be a option.
Progress, not perfection. I don't know.
Could turn into a segment.
I like it as a segment more than
The
actual name. Progress, not perfection. But bro, last time we had some really good topics that we talked about. I feel like we touched on some really cool shit.
Yeah, anyone that wants to hear about those topics, they gotta go watch it.
You gotta go watch the podcast episode before those topics. We touched on politics, president, social media, business. Talked about some sports a little bit. We talked about everything. So you will definitely be very entertained if you check out the last podcast episode. Yeah. So what's the topic for today, bro?
What do you like in a motivational speaker? Right? So we hear Gary Vaynerchuk's talking, you have guys like Dan Pena, right? You have Tony Robbins, you have all these guys with different styles of speaking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a sign that says recording.
I have a very important question for you.
What's going on?
So you know how I ran that ad that adds the cart and send them to the checkout right away?
Yeah.
Would that taint the pixel because they're not meaning to add to cart?
Okay, so the question is, for all the viewers, since we're going to answer this.
Okay, so if we're going to answer this live, so here's the thing is, so we have a retargeting ad that's going towards people that viewed the page but they never added to cart. But the cool caveat to this is when they hit the button to click to go see what it's all about, it adds one automatically to their cart and takes them to the checkout.
Okay.
So will that taint the add to cart on the Pixels? So should I leave it on, or should I, or not worry about it?
Okay, so you should leave it on for the simple reason that when someone came to your website, they are interested in what you have, right?
Yeah.
And when they click the add to cart button, right, and you're skipping it, it's still an action. That means that they wanted it.
Yeah, but this is they click the ad, they get added to the cart, and then they go to the checkout.
They're still interested.
Okay. Interesting.
Still interested because it's a retargeting ad. It's not your acquisition ad.
No, yeah, you're right.
Retargeting, we already knew
So
that.
there's the second
If
time.
anything,
This is the second time they're
it's
clicking
gonna
on our ad.
If anything, it's going to help
Okay.
because Facebook's going to look for more people who add to cart and initiate checkout.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Two guys in a green screen.
Two guys in a green screen.
Two guys on the green screen. I kind of like
That
that.
can be the name.
See ya. I'll leave that alone.
But it might be more than two guys down the
Oh,
line.
okay.
I'll probably head out.
All right, peace, bro.
All right.
Two guys in- Or you can call the podcast the green screen room.
The green room.
All right. Back to the name will come. The name will come.
Yeah.
It will come.
Should we edit that part out?
Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going. No point in stopping, bro.
Yeah.
So you said, what do you like in a motivational speaker? Well, I'll tell you this. I don't listen to much motivational speakers. The guys I do listen to all have something in common, though.
Okay.
Dan Pena and Gary Vee, and I listen to a little bit of Eric Thomas, and I listen to other guys here and there.
Okay.
But those three guys, high intensity, Dan Pena and Gary Vee are a lot in your face. A lot, they put some cuss words out there, no filter, almost says whatever's on their mind. Dan Pena's a little more like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's my style, bro. Not necessarily my style personally, but that's what I like
Style
to
you
listen.
like?
I like to listen to.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not like that personally. That style. But yeah, that's what I like, bro.
I do like that in your face, unfiltered style
Yeah,
because I feel that a lot of people need to hear that.
100%.
Some people are too caught up in the everything needs to be this specific way, and one because that's how you perceive it, right? You perceive, let's say, like for example, like let's say our president, right?
Yeah.
We expect all politicians to be, presidential. We want them to act
Like a president.
act like a president, right? Or you want all of our political officials to, let's say, be very proper.
Yeah.
Right? And that's honestly how we've seen it in the movies portrayed. Like that's our perception, and also through time,
Yeah.
we've seen people act like very, very proper and like with etiquette, right? We have a very, very high standard of it.
Okay.
But I think that when you get that in your face type of outrageous, like type of tone, I think that's actually it's more real.
It is more real. So are you saying that's our president is outrageous?
It's outrageous. The stuff he says is outrageous, but it's real. He's not faking it. That's really him.
Yeah.
And that's how most people.
Do you think that's how he got elected?
I think that
It's because it's so different than what.
I think it's because it's more real than all these other politicians who they tailor their speeches in a very specific way, and they're going about it. They go to all these rallies, and depending on who they're speaking to, they're going to change up like exactly what they're saying.
100%.
Appeal specifically to that market. It's very like from a marketing perspective, it's a very like targeted approach. As where let's say Donald Trump did like a mass marketing. He's like this is I'm giving you the real me, who I am. I'm gonna say whatever he wants to say.
Anything.
Does not care what anyone thinks about him, and he's just gonna do that.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that type of communication because it's like you're not bullshitting me. well, you may be saying some shit that's bullshit.
Yeah, it could be a lot of bullshit.
But the fact that it's more of a, like, his actual personality. It's not just like some faked, like, he's just not just putting on a show.
Yeah.
I think that's what I appreciate about that type of public speaking.
Gotcha. I agree. I like it too. Can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong. So, yeah, we definitely should probably like have some topics before we start.
Or have no, yeah, definitely some topics.
Definitely
Topics would be good.
Some topics
For sure. I think this podcast has been us trying to figure out what to do for a podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely been like testing the waters, seeing.
Bro, once the thing's successful, we could show everyone how to make like a podcast. Like,
Yeah,
we
we
watch
could
all of our videos of us making the podcast.
And this is why I think this podcast will become the #1 podcast in the country, because I want it to be raw, unfiltered, and I wanted to start like conversations like this. Man, I think we should have some topics, and I want people to see the progression over time. Like, damn, these guys got pretty fucking good at this. So, #1 podcast in the country, coming soon, by Kevin Louidor.
It's possible.
Quote it. Everything's possible.
It's all possible.
If you could see it, you could create it.
I believe that.
Yeah. So.
I believe that 100%.
Yeah, bro. I see us at top of the charts, #1 on Apple Podcasts. I see it. So, that being said, it's only a matter of time and amount of work and commitment and dedication to actually get to that vision. But that's if you have the same vision, because if we don't have the same vision, then it might not happen.
See, from my perspective, the reason why it would be successful is because doing this for fun.
Okay.
Right? Like, no one's paying us to do this. We have no idea if it's ever going to make money or anything like that. The fact that we enjoy just sitting down and recording our conversations, I think that is what's ultimately going to make it successful, because we'll be able to just pivot as we see opportunities. Like, we already know we want a little bit higher production value.
Yeah. 100%. We're getting new mics, by the way. These cool red mics.
Oh yeah, that better chairs so you can be more relaxed. Like, right now we're sitting in these office chairs that are straight up. You can't even recline them.
Yeah, I can't even like get comfortable for real.
Right.
But that's fine. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. So I mean, we have a guest on the podcast in the podcast room today. So I'll ask the guest for some topic ideas, and then we'll go based off of that.
Yeah.
First topic, idea, or question. You said that you want to be eventually the #1 podcast on iTunes, right?
Yes, sir.
And what do you feel like it would take to get there?
A lot of hard work, in the sense of, well, I wouldn't say hard work.
What does hard work mean?
Hard work means a lot of work. You know, it's gonna take a lot of research, a lot of trial and error, a lot of commitment, a lot of studying and learning what are these top podcasts doing right now that has gotten them from start to finish. And a lot of time. It's gonna take time. It's not gonna happen overnight. It could happen overnight. Who knows? It could, like, somebody could hear this and be like, oh shit, and this goes viral.
So, all right, so question, right? So let's say you're doing research to look at other successful podcasts.
Okay.
Are you going to look at how they started or where they're at now?
A little bit of both. A little bit both. I do a little bit of both, because you have to look at where they started, and you have to kind of judge where they are now. Like, today I was listening to, yesterday and today, on my way here, on my way home, I listened to the Joe Rogan's podcast, the #1 podcast right now. So I'm listening and trying to consume. Why do people feel like this is the #1 podcast in the country? You know, so I'm consuming that knowledge and I'm learning, and as he's entertaining. He is entertaining. So I mean, I just got to keep doing my research.
I think the fact that it's entertaining is the thing that drives it the most.
Yeah.
He definitely has the most, like, very interesting guests.
100%. The guests are very interesting.
And he asks like some provocative questions, right? In its terms of, it'll create a dynamic, like a back and forth.
Okay.
Of people who have to come up with like very like, they have to like really explain their point.
Yeah.
You know? He's not just asking like a top level question, but he dives deeper into it.
Okay. Yeah, I understand. Like, and he creates a whole segment. So, I guess let's find some more entertaining topics.
Okay. That was a good question. Well, answer. Do you know or have you recently learned any interesting facts that your listeners would be interested in? And that's for the both of you.
Interesting facts that my listeners would be interested in.
Or just a fact. It doesn't have to be fact. Just one. One that they can hear right now and take away like, wow, I just learned something new today.
I'll let you start. I gotta ponder upon that a little bit. I'll let you go ahead.
Oh man, interesting facts that I learned today.
Today or in general? Today sounds.
No. Well, all right. The question is just tell tell the listener a fact. So now when they listen, they can walk away saying, "Okay, I learned this today."
Okay. Yeah, we the fact of the day.
Yeah, fact of the day. That's what we're gonna call the topic. Fact of the day.
We're gonna segment. We're gonna have like a whole bunch of segments.
Fact of the day.
Fact of the day. That it takes a really long time to upload these podcasts through my phone. That's something I learned as a fact today. But
let's talk about the Facebook Cambridge-Analytica scandal.
Oh, Cambridge Analytica?
Cambridge Analytica
man,
scandal.
yeah, this is...
And the reason I picked this topic is because we were just talking about the president and how he won presidency. Long story short, I know Mike knows a little bit more about this topic than I do, but it's basically how the president pretty much not deceived, he basically used Facebook as a tool, a marketing tool to win the 2016 election, and they did that through mass data and all that good stuff. That's my general idea of it, but you could kind of break it down a little further.
I'm gonna get right into Cambridge Analytica,
Yeah.
but just off topic. Another reason, going back to why we think Joe Rogan's the #1 podcast.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk to the audience at all.
Yeah.
He ignores the audience 100%. He doesn't talk to the audience. He talks
It's
directly
just one-on-one.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
And they're just recording their conversation.
Wow. This might be the reason we might get over him, because now the audience feels like they're being engaged throughout the podcast, so it's more entertaining on their commute or during their workout.
We're gonna figure that out.
We just gotta test it.
We gotta figure that out.
Yeah, we just gotta test it.
I think that like when we're talking to the audience, right? I guess maybe a lot of people may not understand that, you know? We always refer to them as like our listeners, but I think that our podcast should be more like just talking face to face, and then just discussing like interesting topics.
Gotcha. And having people just like chime in.
Yeah, like
Okay.
join in the conversation.
Okay, so yeah, like Facebook and
Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
All right, so Cambridge Analytica is a digital marketing and data company that basically used big data and AI, artificial intelligence, to build models of people's psychographic profiles to influence.
Hold on. Let's break this down a little bit. Talk to me as if I'm like a 5th grader. And in the sense of a lot of this, I'm new to this a little bit. What is, I forgot the word you just said. Profile, something profile?
Psychographic profile.
Psychographic profile, what is that?
So a psychographic profile is basically your personality traits. Right? Your personality traits can predict your behavior.
Okay.
And in the terms of marketing for elections, based on your personality model, we can predict how you would vote on specific issues.
Okay.
Right? And then if we can identify your, let's say, psychographic profile, now as marketers, we can develop ad copy and just copy in general.
Yeah.
To present
to trigger
message,
emotions.
yeah, to present a
and
message in front of
actions,
you that's highly predictable
to what you're going to do. So,
Exactly.
so basically, these guys had this technology, and they put the right message
in front
in
of,
front of anybody. Basically, no matter if they had your data, they could put the right message in front of you. Basically,
yeah,
to sway people to vote for Trump.
yeah.
Wow. So basically, they scammed the system. Not scammed, but almost use their data to their advantage to basically. I was trying to look for the word. Deceive.
It wasn't.
It was genius in a sense.
It was absolutely genius.
It was genius, bro.
It was genius. Like they did something that was like unheard of.
It's so genius. I'm thinking it as my mind is trying to fathom it as a deception, but that's because it was that genius. Wow.
Because the same thing could be said about products.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I basically said we build psychographic profiles to get you to do something, the fact that we say to get you to act, people think that's malicious in intent, right? Because you're trying to persuade someone with like technology.
Yeah.
In a very specific way, but we're not necessarily we are persuading you, but the act of persuasion is getting you to agree with something you already believe.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm agreeing with you on a mass scale.
Yeah. So is he going to be able to use the same technology in the 2020 elections?
Yeah, I can imagine they'll always be able to use this technology.
Is other presidential candidates going to be able to use this technology?
If they have access to it.
How do you feel do you think we could take on, as a digital marketing agency, if let's say Joe Biden came to us and said, hey, I want you guys to do my marketing, would you take on that job?
Yeah, how much is he gonna pay?
You're gonna get paid a massive amount of money. Do you think we're capable of setting off a marketing campaign for a presidential election?
100%.
100%. How would you do it? What would be your business mind strategy on getting Joe Biden to win the presidency?
Oh, no. I get paid for the attempt. We ain't talking about winning. You asked me if I'd take on the project. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Am I going to win? I have no clue.
No.
Some things are out of my control.
All right, so what would be your attempt, though? How would you set up your attempt?
I haven't really thought too deep about how I would market a presidential election.
Now's the time, bro.
Right?
I think there's too much sauce.
That
might be too much sauce for the podcast.
That's crazy.
How would you do it? I need a pen. Let me see the pen, bro. How would you do it? Let me know how you would do this.
Yeah. So
let's get Joe Biden to win president right now. How would we do it?
All right. So one, I wouldn't do traditional advertising at all. No traditional advertising. I'm going to go straight into doing things. I'm going to sponsor things that are outrageous. All right? So you guys saw, I'm sure you guys have heard of this, the guy who set the world record for the highest, let's say, free fall, like free dive, he like jumped out of a spaceship, like sponsored by Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we do shit like that. I think Red Bull has like the craziest marketing because it's extremely entertaining. So we would have to do things that are entertaining.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's why Trump won ultimately, because it was entertaining to
It was
listen to.
entertaining. It was very entertaining.
And that's all we had to do, just make it entertaining.
Okay. So what I would do also now is I would make it very entertaining, and I will micro target very specific segments of people and regions in the country. And I'll do different shit that I know would relate to different segments of the country. Like if I'll target every beach area with Trump like diving into a pool or ocean.
What?
Like not I said Trump. I meant Biden.
Have a picture of Biden jumping into the ocean.
Or like something entertaining, but I would target only people that could relate to it and would relate to it the best.
He's like, let's get this dude jumping out of a helicopter into the ocean, swimming up to his private yacht, and riding a jet ski.
I would do it, bro.
Okay. I don't know. I think that when it comes to presidential elections, I probably would never take on, like, honestly, like a client that wants us to like market an election.
Oh man, I 100% would.
So the reasons why, things I've heard, right? One, it's very reactionary type of marketing, right? So like as things occur, you have to be on your feet. Right? You always have to be making sure that whatever happens in the news, that now your candidate is like you're getting the proper content for that candidate to push that message.
Okay.
Right? So, and as we know, reactionary marketing is difficult and very stressful.
Okay.
Right? Right now, we can basically turn some ads on, go to sleep, and we wake up and there's more money in the account.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But once we scale the business up, it's going to be a lot of money coming in from multiple companies.
100%.
Right? And we can kind of like relax. It's not as reactionary.
Okay.
Right? Because you set it and forget it a little bit. But with presidential elections, you're like, all right, I'm going to go all in on my marketing for, let's say, a year, and then you have to stop. And then everything that you did, you can't like necessarily use it again. You have to start from scratch every single time.
Okay.
You want to do a marketing campaign, and it's very short term.
Yeah.
And I think for the amount of time and effort, and especially time that it takes to build something, I think that something that's as short term as, let's say, like an election, and even the candidates like power. I don't know if it's worth putting like, let's say, a year or two worth of your time in marketing an election, because it'll take all your time.
Yeah.
Right? And I think the opportunity cost of not putting all that time and effort, the same exact time and effort into building companies, like it's just not as profitable.
Yeah.
Think about 2 years of you putting in your companies, bro, you'd be scaling millions of dollars in 2 years. Millions. And then in 2 years, you basically get paid the exact same amount of money, right? Because you're being paid for a service, and there's no revenue coming in except for the donations that you're getting.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to cut you guys off, that was interesting. Great. What do you guys, or individually, what do you care about deeply as a person? As Kevin Louidor, as Mike, what do you care about deeply?
For me, I think I care about legacy very deeply. Because to me, it comes down to how would you be remembered after you're gone? You know, like how are you going to be a human being that comes on this planet, and you just leave this planet without making any type of impact? So I strive for impact. I strive to impact as many lives as I possibly could. And shout out to Rue, rest in peace. Also, a quote he also said very often was aspire to inspire before you expire. And that's always going to stick with me. That's what I value. Making an impact, a positive impact. What about you?
I value, honestly, I guess, honesty and like effort is like what I value the most, because having an impact, there's only a very few amount of people's names that we're ever going to remember in history.
I want to be one of them.
All right.
That's for real.
Right. So, even if I don't hit that goal,
Yeah.
right? Like the time that I am here and the time that I can spend like with people, right? I want to be able to bring that with me, you know? Like, I don't want to spend my life trying to achieve something, let's say try to be remembered, and then not end up being remembered. Right? I think the greatest minds in history, I don't think anybody has ever, like at least the people that we know, I don't think they were trying to be remembered.
Yeah. Well,
I think that they just made great strides in their lives that we remember them for those things because what they achieved was so great, but I don't think they actually were trying to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So that's how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's how I
So
want
you just want to leave it all on the field, and when it's all said and done, if you make it to the Hall of Fame, you make it to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But there's some guys from day one. They say, "I'm going to be a Hall of Famer." The first day they walk into camp or whatever, and they have the mindset, "I'm going to be a Hall of Famer." And there's guys that say, "I'm going to leave it all on the field," and when it's all said and done, and those are truly some of the best.
Yeah, but how many guys?
Both ways. There's no number to count how many said which way or what.
Okay.
It's just both ways.
I don't think there's a right way to get there.
There's no right way. There's no one way.
But I guess my perspective is that I'm going to I'm not going to set myself up to be disappointed if I don't get there.
But you can't be disappointed if you know. Okay, for example, let's bring this to more like sports terms. Let's say I want to be the best soccer player. Well, let's say I want to go to the Soccer Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Well, let's use football for example. I'm more familiar with football. I get drafted to the NFL. I'm a rookie. I haven't even played my first game, and I say, you know what? I want to be a Hall of Famer. If I know that I leave everything on the field, every day I work as hard as I possibly could to my human limits. I do everything I should be doing to get to that level that all the other greats before me have done. And I don't get to that level, I'll be fine. Because I know that I put it all on the line. But if I know that I was slacking and I wasn't really doing everything that I could have been doing and I didn't get to that level, I'll be disappointed. So, but I think if you put in the work strategically, not just wasting your time, but if you put in the work strategically, you could get to that level.
I think that you have to be the right type of person to get to that level. Like, for example, LeBron James is an absolute monster.
He's a monster.
Right? His body was built for
basketball.
For sports.
Yeah.
His body was built for that.
Yeah.
Right? There's genetics that are playing a massive factor in his ability to be one of the greatest. Same thing with Michael Jordan.
But also, and then there's guys like Allen Iverson. His body is not necessarily built to like LeBron's, but he's undersized. He's a little shorter compared to what the standard NBA is. He weighs less.
Was he a Hall of Famer?
He is 100% a Hall of Famer. But he made his physics work.
Yeah.
He made his physics work in a world where his physics should not have worked. The only way that's possible, one, is natural talent, of course. But two, a lot of fucking hard work. A lot of hard work got him to that level, to a point where he got so good he stopped working hard, and that's probably was the end of the beginning of his downfall. So I think anybody could do anything, bro. I truly believe that anybody could do anything, bro.